Our mission at Microsoft is to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more. In today's digital landscape, that means enabling every person and organization to use and build AI that is trustworthy, which means AI that is secure, private, and safe. We lean on our best practices and learnings from building AI products at scale to establish industry-leading commitments and capabilities. And those apply across three pillars of security, privacy, and safety. At Microsoft, we've been researching AI and putting it to work in our products and platforms for decades. We've dedicated ourselves to delivering trustworthy AI across Microsoft, from search to Microsoft 365 Copilot, to Copilot+ PCs, and to Azure. And because of Microsoft's scale and pace of innovation in AI, we've been able to move quickly. Across Microsoft, our products run on the Azure platform and are protected by Microsoft Security. This has created a positive feedback cycle for us. As we deploy AI internally and take those learnings to both the product and policy teams, we bake those learnings into what we make available to customers. We have a unique opportunity to develop and continuously improve our best practices and specialized tools for building AI technologies. And security, privacy, and safety are built in by default. Trustworthy AI is only possible when you combine our policy commitments, such as the Secure Futures Initiative and our Responsible AI Principle, with our product capabilities. Both are equally critical to achieving AI transformation with confidence. Over the next 30 minutes, we will explore some of our trustworthy AI commitments and capabilities across security, privacy, and safety. To share more about our trustworthy AI commitments, let me introduce our Chief Responsible AI Officer, Natasha Crampton.
Hi, I'm Natasha Crampton, Microsoft's Chief Responsible AI Officer. Microsoft has been at the forefront of developing technology responsibly for nearly 50 years. Our experience over the past 5 decades has taught us that trust is not a given, it must be earned. We remain committed to earning the trust of our customers every day. For us, earning trust begins with establishing enduring principles to guide our work. Trust is earned when we show up every day to put those principles into practice. This applies to how we build and deploy AI as well. Building trustworthy AI requires having the right security, privacy, and safety in mind from the very start. At Microsoft, we acknowledge that our commitment to upholding our principles for building trustworthy AI systems requires a multidisciplinary approach. One of our unique strengths is the deep collaborations we have nurtured across policy and engineering and research from the very beginning. These teams build on each other's learnings, creating a virtuous cycle that allows us to uphold our commitments as AI innovation continues to evolve. We use our own best practices and learnings to provide you with the capabilities and tools to build AI applications that share the same high standards that we strive for. Whether you're an enterprise leader, an AI developer, or a Copilot enthusiast, Microsoft provides the foundation you need to build and use generative AI that you can trust. At Microsoft, security is the #1 priority. We are committed to delivering every technology we design, build, test, and operate with the highest possible standard of security. The Secure Future Initiative, or SFI, is our multi-year commitment to prioritizing security above all else. This initiative brings together every part of Microsoft to advance cybersecurity protection across our company and products. Security is our foundation, and the work of SFI is anchored on our core principles of secure by default, secure by design, and secure through operations. This commitment extends to AI as well. We firmly believe that security is a cornerstone of enabling trustworthy AI. At Microsoft, we value, protect, and defend your privacy. Our approach is built on our long-standing privacy principles. We are committed to protecting privacy by providing products, information, and controls that allow you to choose how your data is collected and used. From products built with privacy by design to transparent information and user controls, our goal is to empower individuals and our customers to make informed choices about their data. Inclusive of both security and privacy, Microsoft's broader responsible AI principles established in 2018 continue to guide how we build and deploy AI across the company. Over the years, we have made significant investments in building out the necessary governance structure, policies, tools, and processes to uphold these principles in our day-to-day work. These investments are best captured in our annual Responsible AI Transparency Report, published in May of this year. This report outlines how we govern, map, measure, and manage risks associated with generative AI, support our customers as they build their own AI applications, and learn and evolve our Responsible AI program. While we remain committed to upholding our principles for building trustworthy AI, we've also made additional commitments directly to you, our customers, to safeguard your use of AI. These commitments range from defending our customers against certain third-party intellectual property claims made against them. This is known as the Microsoft Customer Copyright Commitment, to assisting you in navigating regulatory requirements related to deploying AI on our platform through the Microsoft AI Assurance Program. On this journey of upholding our principles and commitments, we have learned a few things that have shaped some capabilities that we'll be sharing with you today. Now I'll transition to some of my colleagues who will walk you through these capabilities across security, privacy, and safety that you can leverage today. Mark Russinovich will cover how confidential computing technology enables Gen AI developers to build end-to-end verifiable privacy. Sarah Bird will provide an overview of new Azure AI tooling and capabilities for developing more safe and transparent AI applications. And Hiren Oberoi will discuss security protections for your data, applications, and models. Our goal is to help you leverage Microsoft AI in a way that builds trust with your internal teams, your customers, and your partners. Our mission is to equip you with the knowledge and tools needed to prioritize privacy, safety, and security in every AI solution you create and use. Let's kick things off with Mark to share more on privacy.
Thank you, Natasha. As we transition to trustworthy AI capabilities, let's start by discussing privacy. Whether you're using Microsoft 365 Copilot, a Copilot Plus PC, or building your own Copilot, you can trust that Microsoft's privacy principles extend to your data as part of your AI transformation. For example, your data is never available to other customers or used to train our foundation models. When building an AI application, it's important to protect data at all stages. Data exists in 3 stages: at rest when it's stored on disks and storage, in transit when it's flowing between networks, and in use while it's in RAM during computations. Customers use encryption to protect their data at rest and in transit. In addition to data at rest and in transit protection, highly regulated industries such as banking, healthcare, public sector, and defense have particular concerns about data privacy while data is in use, while it's being processed or consumed. Confidential computing is a technology that protects data in that 3rd state, while it's in use. It isolates sensitive data and memory in a hardware-based secure enclave called a Trusted Execution Environment, or TEE, that surrounds and protects your code and data. Only the code running in the TEE can see the data in plain text. Software running outside of the TEE can't change the code or read the data. Since the data is decrypted only in the TEE, confidential computing can prevent unauthorized access to data while it's being processed, including from the hypervisor, malicious admins, and cloud operators. That means when Azure Confidential Computing is enabled and properly configured, Microsoft isn't able to access sensitive customer data protected by hardware TEs. Microsoft has pioneered confidential computing on Azure for over a decade. We were the first cloud provider to introduce confidential VMs and services, and we have the most comprehensive confidential computing IaaS, PaaS, and developer offerings. In line with our commitment to drive innovation in support of privacy and AI, we've co-designed with our hardware partners like NVIDIA to have confidential computing built into the latest generation GPUs. We were the launch partner for NVIDIA for their confidential GPU-enabled VMs. Today, I'm excited to announce general availability of confidential VMs with NVIDIA Tensor Core H100 GPUs. And I'm proud to share that we are the first cloud provider to have this available. We've been seeing increasing customer interest in confidential computing and excitement for the arrival of confidential GPUs. For example, Microsoft has been working very closely with Royal Bank of Canada on confidential computing initiatives since the early days of technology availability on Azure. They leveraged the amazing benefits of confidential computing and integrated into their own data cleanroom platform so that they can gain insights while preserving the privacy of their customers and their partners. NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs will enable them to use AI accelerators for more efficiency and more powerful AI models. But we want to make it even easier to take advantage of confidential GPUs for AI, so we're also announcing a preview of confidential inferencing model as a service for Azure OpenAI Whisper, with more models to come. We talked about the importance of privacy, especially for regulated industries with sensitive data, including speech transcription. Developers can use this to build end-to-end verifiable privacy in their GenAI applications. Let's take a deeper look. This is how confidential inferencing works at a high level. The client application sends encrypted prompts and data to the cloud. They are decrypted in the trusted execution environment, which you can attest, and the response from the model is encrypted before being returned to the AI applications. Customers get end-to-end privacy. Only a customer's verified AI client can access the decrypted data, and the data is not accessible even to Microsoft. You can learn more about it in the blog at aka.ms Confidential Inferencing blog. Let's see a demo. On the left, we have a web application built to upload data for inference with encryption in transit via HTTPS. Here, I have an audio file for transcription.
The future of cloud is confidential.
Let's upload and send it to the confidential inference endpoint. On the right, we can see the server logs. After it receives the audio file from the client, it first re-encrypts the file before sending it to the confidential inference endpoint. To do that, the server talks to a key management service. With the right policy verified, it gets the public key to re-encrypt the audio data. Then the re-encrypted audio file is sent to the confidential inference endpoint. While the audio is processed in the GPU, it is only decrypted in the TEE, with the response returned back to the client. We also return the attestation of the TEE hardware that processed the data. The entire process is auditable, no data is stored, and no clear data can be accessed by anybody or any software outside the TEE. To summarize, we've built privacy end-to-end into our offerings, ensuring our customers' data is protected at rest, in transit, and in use. Now let's go to Sarah Bird to cover safety.
Thank you, Mark. In the fast-paced AI landscape, AI safety isn't only a priority, it's a necessity. What is AI safety really? It's how we put our responsible AI principles into our products. In practice, this means properly building, testing, and monitoring systems to avoid undesirable behaviors like harmful content, bias, misuse, and other unintended risk. A lot of these things are challenging to build. That's why we've built responsible AI tools that our company and our customers can use. These are all part of Azure AI. We have tools to identify, measure, and mitigate risks that are designed to be used throughout the AI development lifecycle. These are the same capabilities that power AI features at Microsoft, such as M365 Copilot. One of the first steps of building any AI system safely is designing it with the appropriate mitigation layers built in. At Microsoft, to do this, we use a 4-layer mitigation plan. First, we build safety into the model itself, but the model can also make mistakes, so we build a robust safety system around it. And then we customize the application with a system message and grounding data. And we design the user experience to enable users to effectively collaborate with AI. One of the great things about AI today is that we have an enormous number of models to choose from. For example, in Azure AI, we have Azure OpenAI Service, Phi 3, and partner models like Mistral and Llama. It's important to pick the right model for your application. Our benchmarking and evaluation systems can make it easier for you to do that. We've integrated Azure AI Content Safety directly into these models, so you have built-in safety by default. However, every application is different, and so we have built the guardrails to be customizable, so you can set them in a way that makes sense for you. On top of that, this is where you design your application, but we give you tools to help, such as system message templates, easy grounding integrations, and design patterns. Let's talk about how we put this into practice in Copilot+ PC. We have built generative AI models into Windows with state-of-the-art safety, ensuring we get high scores on safety benchmarks. Windows incorporates Azure AI content safety features like blockless content filters and watermarks to protect against potentially harmful experiences in real time. To ensure this all works, we engage in ongoing evaluations and rigorous testing and adjust the safety systems as needed. This is one example of how we build trustworthy AI experiences into our products. Today, I'm excited to show you our newest capabilities to enhance risk mitigation and measurement, to empower you to build trustworthy AI. There's a lot of things that are new, but I wanted to tell you about a few that I'm really excited about. The first is a correction capability in Azure AI Content Safety's groundedness detection feature, which helps to fix hallucination issues in real time before the user sees them. The second allows you to bring safety to wherever you need it by allowing you to embed Azure AI Content Safety on device. This is important for applications like Copilot+ PC that we talked about earlier. Finally, we've expanded our evaluation tools to cover more risks like prompt injection attacks. Let's start with our new correction capability in the groundedness detection feature. This capability detects mismatches between your source content and the model's response, and then revises the responses to fix the issue in real time. This allows you to ensure that your users aren't seeing mistakes in the output. Let me demonstrate how it works. As you can see, my application is generating a response that doesn't align with my grounding source. However, when I activate the correction, it revises the ungrounded content, providing a more accurate and trustworthy result. Hallucinations are a major issue in applications, but it's not the only risk that we need to detect. Azure AI Content Safety also offers additional guardrails. Let's take a look. Our content filters allow you to set severity scores for various harm categories, such as violence and hate, enabling tailored filtering to address specific risks. Protected material detection maintains output transparency by identifying copyrighted or pre-existing materials in the outputs. Prompt Shields offers critical protection against threats like prompt injection attacks and jailbreaks, strengthening the security of your AI systems. Mitigating risk is critical, but you don't know if it's actually working if you don't measure. Historically, measuring for AI risk has been really challenging. But one of the breakthroughs that this AI has enabled is to effectively evaluate AI applications. We've built this into a comprehensive evaluation toolkit in Azure AI Studio, which enables you to address the quality and safety of generative AI outputs in a transparent, repeatable way. This practice has been really important for us at Microsoft. It's critical that we are able to measure each risk, so I'm excited to share our newest evaluation tools. Now you can measure how often your application fails to detect and deflect indirect prompt injection attacks. You can also measure how often your application generates outputs containing protected materials, and you can easily simulate adversarial interactions with your application to generate high-quality test data for both of these scenarios. Finally, you can also simulate more general interactions to better understand how your application behaves when responding to average user prompts. Let's evaluate our application to see how it responds to indirect prompt injection attacks. As you can see, I've already created a test dataset comprised of adversarial prompts and responses for my application. I used the adversarial simulator developed by Microsoft and available in the Azure AI Evaluation SDK. I'll use that dataset to run my evaluation and select the evaluator for indirect prompt injection attacks. Let's take a look at the results. We can see aggregate scores here at the top and dig into the details of each prompt and response pair below. It looks like some of these attacks were successful and our application is responding in a way that we did not intend. This can put our organization at risk. Knowing this, I'm going to go back and activate prompt shields for indirect attacks so we're better prepared. Then I'll run the evaluation again to see the impact of that change. Let's compare the new evaluation run to our baseline, where we did not have prompt shields enabled. We can see that turning on prompt shields helped us reduce the defect rate. We can also check to see if there are any trade-offs in terms of output quality. This is great. Now I have the data to help me iterate on my application and ensure it meets my organization's criteria for safety before deploying to production. One of the things I love most about doing this at Microsoft is that we get to build these features not only for our own applications, but we also get to work with amazing industry-leading partners who are changing the world through their application of AI. One of the areas that's most personally inspiring to me is seeing how our customers have changed the educational experience for students and teachers using AI. The South Australia Department of Education have similarly done amazing work bringing generative AI into the classroom with EdChat. I see this as only one example of what is possible with AI if we do it safely and responsibly. Let's go to Harain to talk more about how security fits into this story.
Thank you, Sarah. Security is our top priority at Microsoft, and our expanded Secure Future initiative that you heard about earlier from Natasha underscores the company-wide commitments and the responsibility we feel to make our customers more secure. Wherever you are in your AI transformation, you need a complete set of security controls to secure and govern your AI applications. Our AI services come with foundational security and compliance controls. For example, we can scan open models that we onboard to the Azure AI Model Catalog. This means that you can make sure that the models you're using are free from bad code and tampering before you deploy them. We're the first major AI platform to provide this type of verification. Another example is the built-in controls in Microsoft 365 Copilot to prevent prompt injection attacks and copyright violations. Now, in addition to foundational security controls in Microsoft 365 Copilot, customers have asked us for more transparency and compliance controls. So today, we're also announcing that Copilot will provide administrators and users with additional transparency into web searches that historically happened behind the scenes when Copilot grounded its responses with information from the web. And administrators with the appropriate permissions can then apply the same level of enterprise-grade data compliance, such as auditing, retention, and e-discovery on these web searches as well. You can learn more about this announcement in our blog post, aka.ms, introducing web query transparency. Now, beyond the foundational controls built into our AI services, we also know that security teams cannot protect what they can't see. So we track over 78 trillion signals every day. This is deeper insight into attacker behavior than anyone, and it helps security teams get the visibility they need to identify vulnerabilities and stay ahead of any attacks. And just like we provide end-to-end security capabilities for emails, messages, endpoints, cloud infrastructure, and apps, we now extend these capabilities in our products like Microsoft Purview and Defender to your AI workloads as well. So customers often ask me, how do I get started? And there are 4 basic steps here to consider. You have to think about how you prepare, discover, protect, and govern the AI apps that you build and use. Now, first, you need to prepare your environment to adopt AI with confidence. This includes classifying and labeling your data, as well as making sure you have strong identity access governance in place. Second is to get visibility so you can discover the security risks related to your data, your users, and your applications. This allows you to proactively design controls and policies to address risks such as data oversharing or over-provisioned users that may have too much access. Third, as you deploy and run your AI apps, you need to continuously monitor and protect them against new threats like prompt injection attacks and protect your data against risks such as data leaks. And finally, you need to be able to figure out how you are going to comply with this evolving landscape of AI regulations by governing your AI systems to detect regulatory violations like collusion, or even organizational policy violations like harassment or sharing unsafe content. Now, over 80% of leaders cite the leakage of sensitive data as their primary concern when adopting AI. Now, Microsoft Purview has provided comprehensive data security capabilities for Microsoft 365 for many years. And these capabilities now extend to AI to help prevent data leaks. Now let's switch to this brand new Surface Pro Copilot Plus PC device and take a look at how these capabilities work. Here you can see Diego, an employee at Contoso, attempts to ask Copilot to summarize a confidential project called Project Obsidian. And this project contains sensitive data. Now, because Contoso has proactively set up the appropriate data security controls, and Diego does not have permission to access the sensitive data, Copilot is not able to retrieve that information for him. In contrast, when I switch to another user, Alex, who asks the same question, Copilot provides a detailed response, and this is because Alex has the necessary permissions to access this sensitive information. Now, it's important to also notice that the response to Alex's question also inherits the confidential sensitively label of the source data. So when Alex attempts to copy and paste this confidential output into a third-party AI application, the associated data loss prevention control kicks in and prevents him from copying over data he's not supposed to. Now, in my recent conversations with security leaders, I've found that the integration of data security controls with AI services significantly boosts their confidence in adopting AI. For example, one of our customers, Cummins, has successfully deployed Microsoft Purview to automatically classify and label their data, laying the foundation for the right data security controls to be put in place. Next, 66% of organizations are either testing, planning, or building their own AI applications. And as a result, there are new vulnerabilities that emerge that we need to identify and defend against. So here, AI security posture management in Microsoft Defender for Cloud helps proactively inventory all your AI stacks, such as your AI models and AI orchestrators, across both Azure and AWS, across the entire development lifecycle. Once inventoried, you can then identify any specific vulnerabilities in those assets. You can then also use attack path analysis to map direct risks such as misconfigurations of an AI resource and indirect AI risks such as a vulnerability in an internet-exposed virtual machine, which could let an attacker gain access to and control an AI resource. Once you have identified your AI risks, you can then get a set of recommended actions to remediate it. While maintaining a strong security posture reduces the risk of attacks, your AI apps once deployed also require active runtime monitoring. For example, here we have an AI app developed by Contoso to help with hotel reservations. An attacker attempts to bypass the app safeguards through prompt injections with the goal of accessing the customer's credit card information. Because Contoso's developers have implemented the content safety prompt shields that Sarah spoke about in the previous section, the prompt injection attempt is both detected and blocked. And because attackers typically strike multiple times, it's important that the signal for this attack is also sent to the Security Operations Center for additional investigation and monitoring. Now, Microsoft Defender for Cloud is integrated with Azure AI to receive this signal, enrich the signal with additional security context, and flag it to the security analyst. Here, a security analyst can now see it together with other related incidents such as sensitive data exposure or credential theft. And this allows the analyst to gain a comprehensive view of the attacker's actions and respond more effectively to the incident. So, guided by the importance of our trustworthy AI commitments, our research team continuously identifies new AI safety and security threats like prompt injection attacks. The product teams then build new capabilities to defend against these threats, ultimately leading to this virtuous cycle of building more safe and secure systems. If you're interested in exploring these capabilities further, visit our webpage, aka.ms/secure-govern-AI for more information. Now I'll hand it back to Takeshi.
At Microsoft, we've made a commitment to trustworthy AI. We're continuously delivering industry-leading security, privacy, and safety, whether you're building a Copilot, using a Copilot, or searching the web. Our trustworthy AI commitments and capabilities make it possible for you to accelerate AI transformation with confidence, because unlocking human potential starts with trust. Thank you for joining us.